I think we all can agree that Drake only released these 3 albums just to feed his ego, because we all know his ego was hurt after what Kendrick Lamar did to him. But now that his ego is fed, I think we can all move on from these trash 3 albums. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Pharaoh TV. I'm Pharaoh. We all have to look at this for what it is. This was an ego-fed move by Drake. Only somebody like Drake, who's as sensitive as Drake, can do things like this. I mean, who else needs to release 3 albums on the same day unless they know that their one album that they were supposed to release on that day was going to do bad? Drake knew Iceman wasn't going to perform how he wanted it to perform. So to gain more traction and more attention, what the cornball does is he releases 2 more albums on top of that. I'm telling you, this was an ego-fed move by Drake. Only somebody like Drake can do something like this. Nobody else in the industry is trying to beat that record by releasing some 3 albums on the same day. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody cares about that, because if you put your time into one body of work, you don't have to act like you have 2 more albums to help boost that one album. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else really wants to hold that record for that. Of course Drake is going to be #1 at that, because no one's trying to beat that. Come on, Drake. Get out of here. Nobody cares what you're trying to do. Those 3 albums weren't even good. And I'm going off of what the fans are saying and what the internet is talking about. Nobody is even thinking about those albums after the first day of streaming. That's why after the first day, your numbers went way down. I know they were around like 140.5 million streams or whatever on the first day, but the second day, it went down to 70 million. And I know that still might be beating some artists out, but that's a big plummet if you ask me. It almost looks like it's botting going on. You know what I'm saying? The cornball had to do this. Somebody like Kendrick Lamar, and I know it might be a little cliche to keep mentioning Kendrick, but somebody like K-Dot doesn't have to do something like this. And we all know that. The whole public knows that. Kendrick's fans and even Drake's fans even know this. That Kendrick Lamar doesn't have to release 3 albums on the same day just to get some type of traction and to feed his ego. Drake is so soft, of course he had to do this. He wasn't sure about how Iceman was going to perform. We all knew that Iceman wasn't going to do the numbers that it was supposed to do. The only way that he was going to get the numbers to go up like this was to release those 2 trash albums like he did. Because that got people talking again, and it got people curious. I'm just glad Drake got this out the way. I'm glad he got to feed his little ego, to give him a little ego boost, to make him feel better about himself after what Kendrick Lamar did, stomping him 6 feet deep in the ground. I'm glad he got his little ego boost, but that season and that time is done for. It's over. I'm glad that Iceman era can be past us already. May 15th came and went, and ain't nobody giving a shit about those albums. Of course, the Drake stans and the OV hoes are going to keep streaming it, because that's what they're going to do anyway. Of course, he has a little fan base that's going to keep following him. And y'all might say, oh no, it's a big fan base. Get out of here. It's not that big of a fan base. Nobody really gives a shit about what Drake is doing. Anybody who really tuned in just wanted to hear what the fuck he was going to say about Kendrick Lamar. And that's the only reason y'all tuned in. And if you're saying you didn't, that's a lie. That's a goddamn lie. I would have loved to see him push an album out and do the numbers that he's doing with those 3 trash albums without mentioning Kendrick Lamar. Of course, this dude's ego is feeling good right now. He's feeling good about himself. The 3 albums are trash. Nobody thinks about Drake's music after the first day of its release. After that, it's done for. I'm telling you, the music is trash, it's watered down, and it's not even no real music. This is just something to get people clicking and get people to stream it one day, like I said, so he can break a little bit of numbers. You know, like I told you, the people that are on the payola, the people that are getting paid to talk good about Drake, you can clearly tell. Just look at Aiden Ross's reaction. It was trash. You can tell that it was fake as hell. You got people like DJ Akadidi falling asleep on stream while he's listening to the albums. So I don't even want to hear nothing else about it, man. I already know, and the whole world already knows what's going on there. Drake doesn't have no real friends. That's exactly why he had to drop 3 albums to boost his ego. That's all it was for. This is the most desperate, egotistical move that I have ever seen this cornball make. And I'm telling you, I can't wait. I cannot wait till Kendrick Lamar drops an album. Drake kept his name hella relevant during this whole rollout. So Kendrick don't even got to do much. Kendrick is chilling with family, going to Disneyland and doing things like that, kicking his feet up, laughing. Just look at the call that Mac Watt made to K-Dot I mean, I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked pretty damn real to me. Because if I was Kendrick Lamar, I'd be laughing like that too. I'm laughing like the Joker, you feel me? Drake is trash. This whole move of dropping 3 albums was trash. It was just to feed his little ego. And now that it's fed, I think we can all move on from that. But you guys let me know how you feel about this in the comment section, because I know I'm not the only one who sees this and the only one who's paying attention to stuff like this. Drake has to make desperate moves like this to stay relevant. He knew Iceman wasn't going to do the numbers that he wanted it to do, as long as he got above 300K, because isn't that what J. Cole did? I don't know the exact numbers for sure what J. Cole did, but he just had to be above that. And without dropping these whole 3 albums altogether, personally, I don't think Iceman does 300K. Drake is trash. And I think we can all agree on that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Like this video. Hype it if you want to. It helps out a lot. I'm out.